Hi everybody and welcome back to Bearcat Update. I'm your host Jason Holland and today we'll be covering baseball's massive upset against Missouri Southern, softball's weekend in Kansas, and the start of the outdoor season for track and field. Before we get into the action, make sure to take a second and subscribe to KNWT TV on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the bell to be notified the second that we post new content. Let's get it.
Left to right will take the handoff, and he's hitting to the backfield. Breaks loose from one would-be tackler around the corner right side to the 30, 25, sideline 20 to the 15, the 10, the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown Northwest. West, Wildcats to the 19-yard line.
Baseball is coming off a big week at home, taking 2-1 in the series against 8th-ranked Missouri Southern. In an 11-inning affair on Thursday, sophomore first baseman Trey Morris hit the walk-off single to center field for the 6-5 win. The Bearcats would fall the next day in a 7-5 loss as junior utility Ryan Williams led the team with 3 hits on the day. The team bounced back on Saturday with a big-time 12-5 win over the Lions. Sophomore right-handed pitcher Connor Poley earned the win, allowing just 1 hit and throwing 5 strikeouts through 5 innings. Trey Morris also had a big game, batting 3 RBIs against the Lions. Northwest will look to continue its momentum in a home game against William Jewell this upcoming Tuesday and in a 3-game series against Fort Hays State April 5th through the 7th. But as one season nears its end, another begins as the football team returned to the field last week. So our reporter Luke Mathews is going to show you what they're up to. Take it away, Luke.
Lights, camera, action.
Linebacker. What he said.
Oh, what is the hardest position to play in football? Definitely cornerback. Definitely. Any DB.
Hardest position to play in football, cornerback.
Hardest? What is the hardest position to play in football? D-line. Kicker? Tackle! I don't know. Quarterback.
The hardest, obviously, offensive line. That's a dumb question.
Put a shirt on, dude.
Gotta be receiving. Gotta be receiving.
Hey.
Corner that can't hold. He has to actually play straight up.
I'm gonna say corner.
That's a tough one.
I guarantee those people not say O-line is a corner or a linebacker. Linebacker.
Well, definitely D-line. For people who don't know, every O-line likes to hold. Like, they hold way too much.
DB. Come on now. Defensive back. Parker Bowen's position.
Corner.
Kicker on an island.
Quarterback.
Cornerback.
DB. Probably corner or quarterback. Never mind. It's quarterback.
Long snapper. Long snapper.
I'm gonna go Wilbur Ensign, long snapper. DB.
Quarterback for sure.
On offense, quarterback. Defense, corner.
Defensive back.
Quarterback.
Third string, right tackle.
One eternity later.
Corner. O-line for sure. Maybe long snapper.
What's the hardest position to play in football? Definitely corner.
Bruh.
What?
Bruh.
QB, no cap, quarterback, I ain't gonna lie.
Tayden. DB.
Hey, hit him.
Hey!
Kicker.
Center.
Okay.
Cornerback is the hardest position to play in football. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. It's cornerback. It is cornerback. Cornerback is the hardest position to play in football.
DB.
Definitely
DB. Why he lying like that? It's defensive line. DB,
by far. Defensive line. They could by far. Hey, you go against a 300-pounder and see what happens.
Linebacker. Corner.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you corner. Corner, safety, DB.
Oh, thank you. Any DB was
Any DB. Man, defensive line.
Tight end. Safety.
What is this? What is the hardest position to play in football?
Thanks, Luke. Softball's weekend saw the team go in 1-3 in a pair of doubleheaders in Kansas on Friday. On Friday, the Bearcats fell to Washburn 3-1 in the first game, with sophomore outfielder Amara Love scoring the team's lone run. Then the team would lose against the Ichabods, this time in a 6-0 fashion. First baseman Skylar Piper recorded the squad's lone RBI against the Ichabods. Northwest would then split a doubleheader against Emporia State on Saturday, with center fielder Lily Filger tallying 4 hits in a 2-1 win in the second game of the afternoon. Senior Hayden Simmons pitched through over 4 combined innings against the Ichabods and struck out a combined 7 batters. Next, the Bearcats will take on an action-packed week with 6 games in 5 days this time. They'll host a doubleheader against William Jewell on Tuesday, then they'll follow that up with a home doubleheader against Rogers State on Friday, and 2 games against Northeastern State on Saturday. After the Bearcats took 2 of 3 against the 8th-ranked Missouri Southern, we figured it was fitting to understand what it takes to be an MIAA third baseman. Take it away, Zach.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Do You Have What It Takes? The show where we answer that spur-of-the-moment question when you look at the TV and say, yeah, I can do that. Today, I want to ask you if you can be on the MIAA Hot Corner, also known as the third baseman. The third baseman will face hundreds of competent batters in the MIAA, so if you want to roll with the punches, make sure you pick up these crucial skills. As a third baseman, you will want to have quick reflexes to make sure you can snag any ball coming down the line or right in the hole before you. Getting familiar with the base running pickle strategy will help you as well. Lastly, you will need to crash on all bunts coming down the third base line. Don't ever slash on bunts, and make sure you throw it to the first baseman every single time. Now, those were some great tips to keep the heat off you in the hot corner. But what will make the heat hit you on the hot corner as well? These are what you don't want to do if you want to be an AA third baseman. The ball is batted at you at high speed. You do not want to be afraid of the ball. As stated before, you need to make sure not to wait for the bunt to come to you. It just makes you look silly if you let a slow roller just pass right by you. Lastly, make sure you have situational awareness. You control the runner going home, so make sure not to let them leave your eye. Now, don't take this from me. Take it from these amazing third basemen to show you their skills that I have yet to break down. For this, we will be looking at 2 different plays from 2 different games. Those games are Xavier versus Oregon and Xavier versus Vanderbilt. Oregon's very own third baseman, Saban Sabalos, will show you this skill known as crashing. Bunt management is the third baseman's job, and Sabalos will show you how it's done. Top of the third with a runner on second, and a bunt is put in play to advance the runner. Sabalos wasting no time in barehanding the ball after crashing and firing to first off balance for the first out of the inning, with the help of his first baseman scooping the ball, of course. Now in the second clip, Xavier University bites back to show off Grant Steffens' skill at 5.5 full coverage. It's the top of the second with 2 outs and the batter down in the count 0-2. What comes next is a hard hit ball that is hit between the cover of the third baseman and the shortstop. The 2 players show off their knowledge as you see Stephenson provide the first ball of defense as a shortstop leans behind him. Stephenson ends the play firing a quick bouncer for his first baseman to snag and go to the middle of the second. Now those are some great third basemen. Do you think you can hang with them here in the MIAA? Comment down below and tell us here at Bearcat Update if you have what it takes. Now that's all the time that we have for today. Next week, we'll be asking you if you have what it takes to be an MIAA shortstop. Taking it back to you, Jason.
Thanks, Zach. While their seasons may be over, Northwest basketball teams are still making headlines. The College Sports Communications announced their academic all-district teams for basketball last Wednesday. Mitch Muscari, Daniel Abreu, and Bennett Sturts were selected for Bearcat men's basketball, and Molly Hartnett, Lindsey Kelderman, Peyton Kelderman, and Kelsey Fields were all honored from the women's basketball team. On Tuesday, senior Wes Strumer was also given All-American honors from the National Association of Basketball Coaches and from Division II Conference Commissioners Association. Let's take a look at legendary Bearcat and Basketball Hall of Fame member Henry Iba. Take it away, Tayden.
Last week, we talked about Rylan Milner and his lasting legacy at Northwest. But before Ryan Milner was a head coach, we had to talk about the man who made Rylan Milner as great as he was. I'm talking about the man who coached Rylan Milner, Henry Iba. This is Bearcat Sports History. Henry Iba was a graduate at Northwest in 1929 and would later be head coach of the basketball team from 1929 to 1933, and made a lot of history throughout his tenure at Northwest. Even though Henry Iba's Northwest coaching career was only 4 seasons long, he created some of the best basketball teams Northwest has seen. He would coach his way into winning 3 MIAA championships in 1930, 1932, and 1933, and in addition of having an undefeated season in 1930. His Northwest coaching career would be 101-14 and would include him having 43 consecutive wins. Henry Iba would do a lot more than coach at Northwest. He would go up the ranks as coach at Colorado and then later at Oklahoma State, winning 2 NCAA championships. He would also coach basketball at the Olympics and win 2 gold medals in 1964 and 1968. Also, while growing up, Henry Iba would play baseball, basketball, football, and track as well. In 1980, Henry Iba would be inducted into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. Then, 8 years later, in 1988, he would present his former student, Rylan Milner, to the Hall of Fame as well. Henry Iba would pass away in 1993, but with the legacy he left, many other head coaches would follow his footsteps like Rylan Milner, Steve Tapmeyer, and Ben McCollum. I'm Tayden Hensley from Bearcat Update.
Thanks, Tayden. It was another great weekend for Northwest tennis as the women's team went 2-0 this past week against Rockhurst University and Washburn. The Bearcats knocked off the 9th-ranked Ichabods on Saturday with a 5-2 win. The Bearcat women swept the Ichabods in doubles play and only dropped 2 matches in singles action. On the men's side, Northwest defeated Rockhurst 6-1, but fell to Washburn 7-0 on Saturday. Against the Hawks, the Bearcat duo of Andrea Zamuri and junior Vinny Rodriguez earned the lone doubles win of the match for Northwest. The Bearcat women now sit with a record of 15-1, while the men hold an overall record of 9-5. Both tennis teams will look to add to their successful seasons with road trips, a pair of MIAA foes, Newman and Emporia State, this upcoming weekend. We are always glad to catch up with our Bearcats, but just like they're on a break, we will be joining them. We'll be right back to meet the cheer team once again. Stick around.
Here at Tower Yearbook, we are a dedicated staff of photographers, designers, copywriters, and practicum students.
Our staff is a student-led, student-run media outlet, producing a book with over 300 pages. Sure to pop out at any of our portrait or distribution events.
So stay tuned to our social media to see what's up.
For years, it has been Channel 8 News, the station that has kept the Northwest and Maryville community informed. Although the image has changed, the mission has not. It all happens here, every Monday at 9 a.m. on KNWT TV. This is Northwest News.
Welcome back to Bearcat Update. The track and field teams began their outdoor seasons this past week, with some of the Bearcats going to the Texas Relays, some participating in the Emporia State Relays, and the rest competing in the Bobcat Invitational. Despite being split up, Northwest was able to find success throughout the week. The men's 4x100 relay squad of sophomore Dominic Seldelac, junior Joel Dos Santos, sophomore Truman Hare, and senior Enrico Canvaga earned second in the Bobcat Invitational with a time of 40 seconds and 3 milliseconds. With a finish of 3 minutes, 37 seconds, and 78 milliseconds, the women's 4x400 quartet of junior Chloe Sains, junior Kaylee Harp, junior Luceris Toledo, and senior Tiffany Huey took 7th at the Texas Relays, competing against Division I squads such as Arkansas, Houston, and UCLA. As previously said this season on Bearcat Update, we have been granted unprecedented access to our cheer team. Our reporter Jake Walker happens to be on the team, meaning we get to meet his teammates one by one. Take it away, Jake.
Welcome back to Meet the Cheer Team. Sticking with the all-girls side of the team, we're taking a look at another one of our freshmen this week.
My name is Lily Hansen. My major is Applied Health Science. I'm a freshman on the team, and my position is a flyer and a base.
Lily's introduction to cheer is one that shows just how fast someone can grow attached to the sport.
Moving to Maryville my 8th grade year, I realized I could do the cheer team. It would let me make new friends, be a part of something I've never been a part of, and I could also try something new, which I've always loved, and I quickly became addicted to cheer.
Coming into a collegiate program as a freshman, it can be a scary process, but Lily has managed to take everything that has been thrown her way.
I really came in last April when I was just trying out. I was like, if I'm going to make it, this would be a great thing. But I really wanted to make it, and if I didn't, I had no idea what I was going to do. So cheer gave me a kind of a spot on the team and a chance to show myself. And just as a freshman on the team, I've made great improvements in every aspect of cheer, of just being a sideline cheerleader, competition cheer, flying, base, everything just has grown so much.
Having never competed at a national level prior to January, Lily's first season was one to remember.
I was honestly content being an alternate, being a freshman on the team, and not having that much competition experiences like all the other freshmen that made nationals, Matt. And then 2 weeks later, we had some difficulties on the team, and Henry looked at me and was like, well, Lily, you're in now. And my stomach dropped at first, but that moment and those 2 hours of practices was so overwhelming for me. And I've grown a lot, and it definitely shaped me to a cheerleader, being underneath that pressure.
Since joining the team, Lily has managed to not only grow in her skills, but her friendships that she has made since the start of the year.
It's a great family environment. We're always laughing, joking. Our cat chat, where we send all of our messages, there's always memes going around in it, and it's just I've made friends that I would not have made because of cheer.
Becoming a part of a college cheer team can be intimidating. However, Lily had a great mindset for the occasion.
You will have some downfalls and some doubts of yourself if you're good enough, if this is the right team for you, but it definitely is, because it's just such a great environment and you just grow so much.
That's all the time we have with the cheer team. We're going to swing this one back over to your host. Take it away, Wiley.
It's going in the pack.
Thanks, Jake. I'm Wiley Ray with Bearcat Update with the X. Stick around to get an in-depth preview of the Bearcats football season and College Football 25. We'll be right back.
KZLX is a student-run radio station where Northwest students have complete freedom during their shifts. KZLX also hosts many radio shows such as Nermageddon, Revive, Day-to-Day Picks, and more. To learn more, visit kzlxfm.com.
Hey guys, I have the new season of Gen 2.
Yeah! Get over here, let's check it out!
Oh, you always gotta blow these things out. Alrighty guys, gather around.
Welcome back to Bearcat Update with the X. I'm Wiley Ray, and today we're going to be discussing the Bearcat football team as we get closer to the football season. Just a quick little schedule release for the Bearcats. They start things off at home against Minnesota State, a non-conference schedule, and then another home game is Fort Hays State on September 14th. September 28th is against Emporia State. That is labeled as family weekend for the Bearcats then. After 2 weeks on the road, they'll come back to Bearcat Stadium against Central Missouri for the homecoming matchup, and then November 2nd against Northeastern State at Bearcat Stadium, and then finishing things out at Senior Day against Pittsburgh State. But we are just not towards the fall yet, and one of the biggest questions on campus for the Bearcat football squad is who's the next man up? With Jay Harris gone to Oregon, here is some of Harris's stats as a Bearcat. 244 attempts, 1,433 yards, 14 touchdowns, and averaging 130 yards a game for the Bearcats, in one big position to fill indeed for Northwest Missouri State's Jaden Brady. When you look at these two running backs, some big things here for the next man up. Jaden Brady is, when you really look at the stats for these two squads, when you really look at the quarterbacks, it's Henry Martin and Chris Runkey as the next man up. Henry Martin, 227 yards, 43 attempts, no touchdowns, 1 interception, and averaging 9 yards. Another player to look at is Chris Runkey, 299 yards, 44 attempts, 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and 14 yards. Now, when you look at the running backs for the Bearcats, comparing Jaden Brady, who missed last year due to an injury, he had 215 yards off of 42 attempts, 3 touchdowns, averaging 5 yards for the Bearcats. Big spot to fill for the Bearcats with Jay Harris as he put up 1,645 yards, 244 attempts, 14 touchdowns, and 5.9 yards averaging. And with those positions need to be filled, another one that is also in question is the wide receivers. And when you look at the wide receivers and the quarterbacks here for the Bearcats this fall, here are some big names you got to look for. Look at Hayden Jay in the quarterback position, wide receiver TJ Williams-Bay, Henry Martin, Duke Timmons, and Chris Runkey for the Bearcats. With Jay Harris now at Oregon, like I said, it opens the door for many opportunities for other players to shine with those names being included. Now, we all know that the Bearcats will unfortunately not be in the new NCAA college football game, but that hasn't stopped us here at Bearcat Update from talking about it. I'll send it to Killian for a look at the new EA Sports NCAA College Football 25 coming out this summer. Take it away, Killian.
Coming this summer, the worlds of college football and video games will once again collide. In EA's College Football 25, we will see the return of our favorite programs and players to the screen. The news comes after years of speculation and hype about the return of the former video game giant. The game was scrapped in 2014 due to complications with name, image, and likeness. The 2021 decision in favor of players over the right to market themselves and earn money off of their place on their respective teams has made this possible. To aid this, it has been declared that all players who opt in to be used in the game will receive $600 and a free copy of the game. EA wasted no time and immediately began production on the game. The focus will be on upholding traditions, presenting the game as it is on Saturdays, and giving the fans the game they've been deprived of for over a decade. Unfortunately for Bearcat fans, we will not be able to participate and lead Northwest to a championship just yet. But if you're looking for a player to follow, it should be none other than Oregon's Jay Harris. If you remember back to this past season, Harris was the offense for the Bearcats. providing over 1,400 yards on the ground and punching in 14 touchdowns. His 2 years in Maryville were nothing but a launch pad as Oregon's Dan Lanning signed him just weeks after the season concluded. The news came just 3 days after being named an AP All-American. While it will be hard to see Harris play for another program, there will be a sense of joy watching a Bearcat tear up the Big Ten like he did the MIAA. From Bearcat Update, I'm Killian Beck.
Thanks, Killian. I don't know about you guys, but I'll definitely be playing as Jay Harris when he plays at Oregon this fall. Well, that'll do for Bearcat Update with the X. I'm Wiley Ray, and I'm going to send it over to Jason Holland in the studio. Take it away, Jason.
Thanks, Wiley. That's all the time we have for Bearcat Update. I'm your host, Jason Holland, and you're watching Bearcat Update, the provider of complete coverage of Northwest sports. We are live every Sunday at 1:15, and you can find us on YouTube at KNWT TV. As well as Bearcat Update, you can catch KNWT TV's other content as well. That's all we have this week. We'll see you next week.